Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I hope you have completed the homework problems and uploaded the homework problems in our Learnity. So please try to understand your internal mark is based on that homework problems and Saturday test only. Okay, so every day we are giving some minimum 5 homework problems. You please work out the homework problems and upload it on the same day. So once you completed, you upload on the day itself. Okay. In the next day, it is not possible to upload the homework problem, right? So today's homework problem, you have to upload today only. It is not possible to upload tomorrow, right? And look at that. Our Saturday test portion is coming Saturday morning 10 a.m. We have a test, max test. Every Saturday we have a test. Okay, coming Saturday test portion is chapter 5. Okay, and exercise 5.1 to 5.5 only. Up to logarithmic differentiation, continuity, differentiation of logarithmic function, exponential function, and logarithmic differentiation. Up to logarithmic differentiation, this is exercise. Okay, exercise 5.1 to 5.5. We have divided into two parts. The first part is 5.1 to 5.5. Next week, we have a full test in chapter 5. Next week, we don't have a second part. We have a full test in chapter 5. Full chapter next week. Okay, but this week only 5.1 to 5.5 up to logarithmic differentiation. 5.5 is our logarithmic differentiation. Exercise 5.5. Okay, no parametric form and no second order derivative and no miscellaneous problems. Okay. Right, so we have successfully finished our chapter number 5 and now we are moving to the chapter 6. Right, what is our chapter 6? Applications of derivatives. Applications of derivatives. Okay. Yeah, first 1 to 5 only. Okay. Right. So, dear students, and you please ask all of your doubts at the end of last 10 minutes. Right. We will discuss it. Last 10 minutes, you ask all of your doubts. Okay. Right. So now come to that applications of derivatives. And in this applications of derivatives, the first part, the first exercise 6.1, that is rate of change of quantities. That rate of change of quantities, it is not in our syllabus, it is removed. Rate of change of the quantities, that is removed. Okay, deleted syllabus. Okay, so we don't want to concentrate that. Okay. So then we are going to the second exercise. My second exercise is increasing and decreasing functions. What is increasing function? What is decreasing function? Any idea? What is increasing function? What is decreasing function? When we say that the function is increasing, it and which interval the function is decreasing and which interval the function is increasing. So please try to understand in chapter 6, our first topic, rate of change of bodies. Rate of change of quantities, it is removed, deleted. First exercise deleted. Second exercise, use of derivatives in approximation, that is the second exercise there. And the fourth exercise, I think, use of derivatives in approximation, that is also deleted. Okay, now we are moving to the second exercise. Second exercise is increasing and decreasing function. Increasing and decreasing function. Increasing and decreasing function. Okay, what is increasing function? Now look at that. A function like this. Suppose the function is going like, okay, and again it is constant, and again it is going. So therefore, this is increasing function only. So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, this is function, this is my y is equal to f of x. Okay, so this is an increasing function only. Why? Look at the curve, increasing function. So look at that, if I am taking my two different x values, the function value is increasing. These are the function values. Okay, it is increasing only more than this. This function value is more than this function value when I am taking these two values. Okay, and here look at that. Suppose I am taking the values, two values here, my function values are constant, not decreasing, but it is same. My function is constant. When I am taking two values here, my function value is again increasing. Okay, so the function f of x value is increasing. Okay, right? So therefore, this function is called as increasing function. It is always increasing, not decreasing. Right? See the second example. So the second example is, suppose the function is like that. See this function. When I'm taking any two x values, x1 and x2, what is my f of x1? This is my f of x1. This is my f of x2. Look at that. Always my f of x1 is less than this f of x2. That means always my f of x2 is greater than this f of x1. Okay. You take any value in this line. Okay. So this f of x2 is always greater than this f of x1. Therefore, this is strictly increasing. It is here, some part it is constant. Here up to this, the function is constant, remains constant. Okay, here it is increasing, constant, increasing. Therefore, this is increasing function. Here there is no constant. The function is increasing and increasing and increasing only. So therefore, this type of function is increasing, but it is called as strictly increasing. It is strictly increasing. Okay. Are you okay? So the second function is strictly increasing function because there is no constant. It is here increasing, constant, okay, and increasing. So, but here only increasing, increasing, increasing. Okay, never decreasing and not constant, right? So now look at that, this type of problems, this type of functions. Okay, my function is coming like that. Okay. My function is, look at that, it is always decreasing. Suppose I'm taking two x values here and here. Okay, what about my x value here and here? My f of x value is decreasing. This f of x value is more than this. This f of x value is less than this. Automatically see the graph. We can easily understand the function is decreasing. Okay, so therefore this is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Never it is increasing. Never it is constant at some particular interval. So therefore this function is called as strictly decreasing. Okay, so this is strictly decreasing. Are you clear? Are you understand? Strictly decreasing, right? So sometimes you look at this function. So the function is coming like that. Okay, so for some part it is constant and again it is coming like that. Okay, so look at that, this function is decreasing and for some interval it is constant and again it is decreasing. So it is not increasing. but decreasing for some interval it is constant and again it is decreasing only. So therefore this is called as my simply decreasing function. This is called it as decreasing function. Okay. So this is called it as our decreasing function. Right, now come to the next one. Suppose the graph is coming like that. Okay, so look at that. This is increasing or decreasing. Here the function is increasing. After that the function is decreasing. And this point again the turning, the function is increasing. Okay, again turning, the function is decreasing. Okay, please look at that. Here the function is up to this point. The function is increasing. After that the function is decreasing. Again the function is increasing. Again the function is decreasing. So therefore this is neither increasing nor decreasing. This function is neither increasing nor decreasing. So please try to understand. We have discussed the 5 examples. The first one is increasing only, not strictly increasing. What is the difference between strictly increasing and increasing? Here, somewhat increasing and maintain the some constant function, and then again increasing. But here there is no constant, only increasing. Only increasing means that is called the strictly increasing. Here, sometimes it is constant, sometimes it is increasing. Means that is an increasing function. Okay. So here. This is strictly decreasing, no constant. Decreasing only. Only decreasing means that is called as strictly decreasing. Okay. And here decreasing and some interval it is constant, again decreasing. So therefore decreasing and constant, some interval it is constant means that is decreasing function. Only decreasing means that is called as strictly decreasing. And this function is neither increasing nor decreasing because for some interval it is increasing, for some interval it is decreasing, and increasing, decreasing alternatively coming. So therefore this is called as neither increasing nor decreasing function. Are you okay? Are you clear? So this is called as our increasing and decreasing of a function. Okay, sir. Then if one function is given, then how to find out the increasing and decreasing? We have to draw the graph, sir. So for some graph we can easily draw. For all the function, it is not possible to drawing the graph. Okay, it is possible, but it will take some time. Okay, so it may be sometimes it is complicated. So therefore, we are going to discuss about mathematical method to find the function is increasing or decreasing, or in which interval it is increasing and which interval it is decreasing. So we are going to discuss about the mathematical method to find the given function as increasing or decreasing. Okay. Are you clear? So now we will discuss, come to the definition of increasing and decreasing. The definition of increasing and decreasing, let I be an open interval. Let I be an open interval. You know the interval, I think. Okay, subset of a real number, that is a open interval contained in the domain, contained in the domain of a real valued function, contained in the domain of a real valued function f. Then f is said to be, number one, increasing on, f is said to be increasing on the interval I. The function, any one function. So look at that, any one function, let I be an open interval of a real valued function. Okay, open interval contained in the real domain of, let I be an open interval contained in the domain of a contained in the domain of a real valued function f, then f is said to be increasing on the interval if one condition is there. What is the condition? My x1 is less than x2. That means I am taking two values, x1 is smaller, x2 is bigger. I am going to take two values of x. X1 is smaller, x2 is bigger in the interval I. Okay, which implies my f of x1 is less than or equal to my f of x2. My f of x1 is smaller compared to my f of x2. Okay, for all x1 comma x2 belongs to I. So then the function is called it as increasing. So look at that. I am giving that, suppose some curve is there. Right, so here my taking my x1 and my x2. Don't take this is x1, this is x2 because my x1 is smaller. When x1 less than x2, this is always for we are checking that increasing or decreasing. This x1 less than x2 is very important. In increasing also we are taking x1 x1 less than x2. In decreasing also we have to taking as x1 less than x2 only. Okay. Right. So I'm taking 2 points, x1 and x2. x1 is smaller, x2 is greater. Okay. And these two are the f of x1 and f of x2. Okay. So therefore, for any two values in the given interval, suppose I'm taking this is my interval. Right. I'm taking 2 points in the interval x1 and x2. x1 less than x2. If x1 less than x2, then my f of x1 is less than or equal to f of x2, then the function is called as increasing function. Okay, right now look at that. Here f of x1 less than or equal to f of x2 means sometimes these two values may be same. Sometimes these two values may be same. F of x1 equal to f of x2. Look at that, this is. So I'm taking this is my x1, this is my x2. What is my f of x1? This is. What is my f of x2? This is. Both are same. Look at that. Both are same. Sometimes it may be same. Okay, that means equal function exists. Okay, so suppose equal function not exist, always it is less than. My f of x1 is always less than f of x2. No equality. Then the function is called it as strictly increasing. You please try to understand. If f of x1 is less than f of x2, then the function is strictly increasing. Okay. Are you clear? So what is my strictly increasing definition? So strictly increasing definition is strictly increasing on R. Strictly increasing on I, the interval. If my x1 less than x2 in 1, my x1 less than x2 in I, which implies my f of x1 is less than f of x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to I. Okay, here look at that. Here this equality is given, then the function is only increasing function. If this equality is not given, then the function is strictly increasing function. You please try to understand. Equality is given, the function is increasing function. Equality is not given, strictly increasing. Equality is given means the function may be increasing or sometimes it is equal. This first case. Okay. So this is my first case. Okay. So sometimes increasing, sometimes it may be equal. Therefore, this function is called as increasing. Look at that here, there is no equality. If you take any two values x1 and x2, my x1 is less than x2, then automatically my f of x1 is less than f of x2. Okay, so therefore my f of x1 is less than f of x2 only. So therefore this function is called as strictly increasing on the given interval. Okay, right. Now come to the third case. That is a decreasing function. What is decreasing? My decreasing on the interval I. Okay, if x1 is less than x2, please look at that. In all the cases, I am taking my x1 is less than x2 only. My x1 is smaller, x2 is greater. Okay, so therefore, if x1 less than x2, which implies my f of x1 greater than or equal to f of x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to I. Look at that. When I am taking my x1 less than x2, my f of x1 is greater than or equal to f of x2. Look at that. This is decreasing function. Okay. My f of x1, suppose I am taking two values. This is my x1, this is my x2. Okay. This is my f of x1, this is my f of x2. Look at that. My f of x1 is greater than or equal to my f of x2. This is a greater one, this is a smaller one. Okay, so only greater one only I'm getting, sir. Why you are putting equal to, sir? Suppose if you take the x1 and x2 here, suppose if you are taking the x1 and x2 here, okay, so then this is where f of x1, this is where f of x2, both are equal, right? So therefore, this inequality satisfies. Okay, so then the function is called it as decreasing function, right? Now come to the fourth one. So you please try to understand, this is the graph. From the graph, we are observing something and we are writing something. From the graph only, we are deriving all these things. Okay, so this definition is given in your book also. Don't worry about that. This graphs definition, everything given in your book also. Okay. Are you right? Are you clear? Right. Now come to the third one. Decreasing on I if x less than x2 implies f of x1 greater than or equal to f of x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to y. Now come to that strictly decreasing. What is strictly decreasing? Strictly decreasing on I. Then if my x1 is less than x2 only, please clear about that. My x1 is clear less than x2 always, which implies my f of x1 strictly greater than f of x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to I. Okay, so therefore please try to understand the definition. One is increasing, another one is strictly increasing. Okay, one is decreasing, another one is strictly decreasing. If in some interval these all the four cases are not satisfied, sir. In some points it is satisfied, some point not satisfied, sir. Look at that. This is for all. This is for all. Okay, so some points it is satisfied, some points it is not satisfied, sir. Then what to do, sir? So if some points satisfy, some points not satisfied means that function is called as neither increasing nor decreasing. That function is called as neither increasing nor decreasing. Okay, so you please try to understand this. Again, I am repeating, what is my increasing function? In an interval, how to define the in given interval function is increasing. So when my x1 is less than x2, okay, which implies, see this definition, when x1 is less than x2, which implies my f of x1 is f of x1 is less than or equal to f of x2. Increasing means this condition satisfies, my x1 is less than x2 always. Then if my f of x1 less than or equal to f of x2, this is for all x1 comma x2 in an interval. So only for 2 points it is satisfied, sir. No. For if you take any 2 points in the interval, if you take any 2 points in the interval and it satisfies this condition, then if this condition also satisfies for any 2 points, then the function is called it as increasing function. What is strictly increasing? Strictly increasing means, what is strictly increasing? My x1 less than x2 implies my f of x1 less than f of x2. No equality. That's all. This is for every x1, x2 belongs to the interval. So only 2 points it is satisfied, sir. For other 2 points it is not satisfied, sir. No. Okay. Right. So what about decreasing? My decreasing function. So my x1 is less than x2 only. Okay. Look at that. My f of x1 is greater than or equal to f of x2. Here increasing means less than inequality, decreasing means greater than inequality. Okay, please try to understand everything from the graph, then only you can understand easily. Okay, what is my strictly decreasing? What is my strictly decreasing? My x1 less than x2 implies my f of x1 greater than f of x2. For all x1 comma x2 belongs to y. Are you okay? Are you clear? Are you understanding this? What is increasing? What is decreasing? I am giving some more example. You please take it. I will give one more example for increasing and decreasing function. After discussing that, after discussing that, after discussing that example, we will discuss about that theorems, results. Okay, but don't worry, my dear students, this is a concept only. We are not going to use this concept to in our problems. We have some other, another concept is there. We have another theorem is there. We are going to use that theorem. Okay, we are not going to using this concept in our problems. Okay, right? Once if you finish the means, we will go to the another example. So look at that. Suppose my function is like that. This is in 0, a. This is my interval. This is my interval. Okay, we'll discuss the homework problems. The last 10 minutes, we'll discuss it. Don't worry. So this is my 0 to a. This is my interval. I means interval. My I interval means that is 0, a. Okay, interval. Right. In this interval, suppose I am taking any 2 points, x1 and x2. Only condition is my x1 is less than x2. Okay, what is my f of x1? Look at that. My f of, clearly my f of x1 is, you please try to understand, clearly my f of x1 is less than f of x2. Are you okay? If you take any 2 points, any two different points in this interval 0 to a, my f of x1 is always less than f of x2. So my x1 less than x2, my f of x1 is always less than f of x2 means what is that? The function is strictly increasing. This function is strictly increasing function. So therefore, this is a strictly increasing function. Okay, now come to that, this one. I'm writing here. Here I am writing my f of x1 is less than f of x2. Okay, which implies my f is strictly increasing function. Right, now come to that, the other one. Okay, suppose my function is curve is coming like that for some point. After that, the function is constant. Okay, so therefore, this is my interval 0 to a. Right, so this is my interval. My interval is 0 comma a. Suppose I am taking 2 points here and here. What happened? My x1 and x2. x1 is less than x2. Yeah, it is correct. Both are in the interval I and x1 less than x2. Then what is my f of x1 and f of x2? Both are same. See that? My f of x1 value and f of x2 value both are same. So therefore, my f of x1 both are same, equal to f of x2. Suppose I am taking two values here. Okay, suppose I am taking two values here. Right, what happened? This is my f of x1, this is my f of x2, that is less than. Okay, sometimes my f of x1 is less than f of x1 is less than f of x2. Sometimes my f of x1 is equal to f of x2. So therefore, I am putting that symbol less than or equal to. Less than or equal to means what is that? My f of x1 is always less than or equal to f of x2 means the function is an increasing function only. This is increasing, not strictly increasing. Increasing function only. Here it is strictly increasing. That is increasing only, no equality, only increasing. Here increasing and equality is also there. So therefore, this is simply increasing function, not only increasing. Sometimes it is equal to also, not decreasing but equal to. Okay, so therefore, this function is called it as my increasing function only. Are you clear? Are you okay? Come to the next. Suppose my graph is coming like that. All these are the examples only. This is my a, this is my 0, my interval is 0 comma a, right? Look at that. Suppose I am taking any x1 and x2 value, any two values. My x1 is less than x2 only, that's all. Right? So my f of x1, this is my f of x1 and this is my f of x2. See that my f of x1 is always greater than f of x2. See this function? My f of x1 greater than f of x2. Always, if you take any 2 points x1 and x2 in this interval, my f of x1 is always greater than f of x2. Okay, so therefore, this function is called a strictly decreasing function. This is strictly decreasing. Okay. Are you okay? Come to the next one. Same example I'm explaining in another way, that's all. This is y, this is x. Suppose my function is coming like that. After that, the function is constant and again it is decreasing. Okay, so this is my a, this is my 0. My I is an interval 0 comma a, right? So what is the function? Look at that. For any two values here, look at that. My x1 and x2. Here my f of x1 and f of x2. My f of x1 is always greater than f of x1 is greater than f of x2. But here I am taking x1 and x2. What happened? Suppose I am taking my x1 and x2 here. What happened? My f of x1 and f of x2 both are equal. That means the function is decreasing. That means this is greater than or equal to f of x2, right? So my f of x1 sometimes equal to f of x2, sometimes greater than or equal to f of x2, okay, which implies my function is decreasing function only, not strictly decreasing. Therefore, my f is decreasing only, not strictly decreasing, okay. Now look at the next one. Nagarjuna, any interval. Nagarjuna, this is any interval. I am giving the some example. It is not only 0 to a. Any interval, Nagarjuna. I am giving some example only 0 to a. You can take it as a comma b, minus a comma minus plus a, minus a comma some plus b. You can take any interval. I am giving some example that is 0 to a. For your understanding, I am giving some example. Okay. So for your understanding, I am keeping some simple interval 0 comma a, fixing, look at that. In all my examples, these examples, I am fixing my 0 to a. Okay, then only you will get some idea. So for that, I am fixing my interval. For this interval, the function is only varying. Okay. Now look at that, Nagarjuna. Suppose some function is coming like that and it is going like that. Okay, and look at that, and this is 0 to a. This is my interval 0 comma a. Suppose I am taking my x1, x2. What is my f of x1? This is my f of x1. This is my f of x2. This is my f of x1 greater than f of x2 here. Okay, suppose I am taking 2 points here, x1 and x2. This is my f of x1. This is my f of x2. My f of x1 is here. My f of x1 is, in this case, this is my f of x1, this is my f of x2. My f of x1 is less than f of x2. Are you okay? So here I am getting f of x1 greater than f of x2. Here f of x1 less than f of x2. So therefore there is some contradiction. Okay. If this is true for any two values in this interval, or this is true for any two values in this interval, then only we can say that the function is increasing or decreasing or strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. For all other cases, the function is neither increasing nor decreasing. So therefore, here this function is neither increasing nor decreasing. Okay. This function is neither increasing nor decreasing. Please try to understand. So in our problems, we are not going to use this type of graphs. We are not going to use this type of inequalities. So we have to memorize this, sir. You please try to understand. Okay, but we are not going to apply this logic in our problems. Okay, we have some theorem is there. We are going to apply the theorem only in our problems. Okay, based on the theorem, we will prove that in which interval the function is increasing, in which interval function is decreasing. Okay. Okay, pa. Right. Now come to that. What is my theorem? My theorem is the result without proof, only theorem statement. Okay, a proof is there, but we don't want the proof now. We'll discuss proof if you want, we discuss later. Let f be a continuous, f be continuous on a comma b, and differentiable means derivative exists. Differentiable on a comma small open interval a comma b. Look at that. This is continuous a comma b. This is open interval a comma b. Then first one, f is increasing. F is increasing in closed interval a comma b if f dash of x is greater than 0 for all x belongs to open interval a comma b. Please try to understand, this is a condition. This condition only we are going to use that. Okay, so Ganesh, you please note this theorem. Okay, this condition only we are going to apply in our problems. Okay, what is the condition? The given function is said to be increasing. This is a condition. What is my condition? My f dash of x is positive, greater than 0 for every x belongs to a comma b. If you apply any value in this interval, if your f dash of x, derivative of f of x is positive, then my f is increasing function. Okay, right. What is the second one? Second statement, my f is decreasing. My f is decreasing in a comma b. Okay, if my f dash of x is less than 0, my f dash of x is positive. Look at that, this is derivative. My derivative of the function is positive at this interval, then the original function is increasing. My derivative is less than 0 in this interval, open interval a comma b. Okay, my f is decreasing on the closed interval. Okay, right. So third one, f is constant. Constant means no increasing, no decreasing, not decreasing, not increasing. My f is a constant. Okay, in a comma b, if f dash of x is equal to 0 for every x belongs to a comma b. F is a constant, my f dash of x is 0. F dash of x is 0 mean at this point my function is constant. That is the meaning. Okay. If like I'm getting f dash of x is less than 0 at this interval, my f of x is, the original given function is decreasing. My f dash of x is greater than 0, my given function is increasing. Okay. Why we are omitting the proof of the theorem means this is we are going to prove the theorem by using mean value theorem in our 5th chapter. But mean value theorem we are not discussed in our 5th chapter. That is a deleted syllabus. Mean value theorem is a deleted syllabus. So that's why we didn't discuss that mean value theorem. Using mean value theorem only here they are proving the result. Okay, so therefore you don't bother about the proof. Take the result. Now come to the problems. The problems are very important. Please try to understand the problem. This is only enough to find the function is increasing or decreasing. Okay. Simple. If given f of x is increasing in this interval, if my f dash of, that means derivative of this function is positive at this interval. Okay. My f of x is decreasing in this interval, my derivative of f of x is less than negative, less than 0 for this interval. Okay. So f is constant mean my f dash of x is equal to 0 at this interval. Okay. Right. Now come to the problems. The problems are very important. You please concentrate the problems. First problem, show that first we will take some other problem. Find the intervals. Find the intervals in which the function find the intervals in which the function f of x equal to 4x cube minus 6x square minus 72x plus 30 minus 72x plus 30 is number 1 strictly increasing, number 2 strictly decreasing. Okay, are you clear? Are you understand? Right, now come to the question. So look at the procedure. So actually this is the condition, but how to find out this interval, at which interval the function f dash of x is greater than 0, at which interval the function f dash of x is less than 0, how to find out the intervals? You just follow the procedure. My first step of this one is, yeah, very good Ashok. F is a constant only, Vimal. Constant means it is constant only. It is not increasing, it is not decreasing. It is constant. Neither increasing nor decreasing, that is a constant. Okay, right. So look at the first step to find the increasing and decreasing intervals. The question is for intervals, find the intervals, the function strictly increasing or decreasing. I am going to find the at which interval the function is increasing and decreasing. Okay, the first step is you take find f dash of x, because everything based on f dash of x only. So okay, so therefore I am finding f dash of x. Well, f dash of x means derivative. What is my derivative? This is 3x square. This is 2x. Okay, minus 72x. Sorry, minus 72. This is x square is 2x, x cube is 3x square minus 72 plus constant differentiation is 0. Okay, so therefore this is 12x square minus 12x minus 72. Which one common here? Look at unfactorize. First find the derivative and factorize this. Factorize this polynomial, right? Or factorize this function. How to factorize? First of all, take 12 commonly. This is x square minus x minus 6. Okay, look at that. I'm just factorizing this minus 6. This is minus 1. So therefore, this is my 2 into 3. 2 into 3, it is 6. Okay, suppose I'm using minus here, 2 into 3 minus 6. When I multiply 2 and minus 3, I'm getting minus 6. When I'm adding this, I'm getting minus 1. Okay, so therefore, 12 into this is x plus 2, x minus 3. Are you okay, factorization? I am just finding the derivative and factorizing this f dash of x. Are you clear? Are you understand? That is my first step to find the intervals. Okay, come to the second step. My second step is let f dash of x is equal to 0. Okay, f dash of x is equal to 0. So what is my f dash of x is equal to 0 means 12 into x plus 2 into x minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so what is the value of x? So therefore I will get x is equal to minus 2 and plus 3. Are you okay? You solve this. It is an equation. X plus 2 into x minus 3 equal to 0. Then x plus 2 equal to 0, x minus 3 equal to 0. I am getting x is equal to minus 2 and y is equal, sorry, x is equal to minus 2 and plus 3. Are you okay? Any doubt in this getting values minus 2 and plus 3? Okay, so come to the third step. Yeah, here come to the number line, real numbers. Okay, what are the values? This is minus infinity, this is plus infinity, this is my minus 2, this is my plus 3. Okay, f dash of x is equal to 0? I will tell you, Stanley. Okay, because at my f dash of x only my function is constant. F dash of x is equal to 0 means my function at the function is constant. Okay, my f of x is constant, right? So now look at that and take that -2 and 3, put it in the number line. So now come to the table, intervals, that is the conclusion, intervals. Here sine of f dash of x and here nature of f of x. Please look at that. I'm going to, first column is interval, second column is sine of f dash of x, third column is nature of f of x. Now look at that, these two values, okay, divide the real number line, real numbers into 3 intervals. This is first interval, this is second interval, this is third interval. Take the first interval, minus infinity, comma, minus 2. What is my second interval? Minus 2, comma, 3. And what is my third interval? 3, comma, infinity. Okay, right. I'm going to check that in this interval, my f dash of x is less than 0 or greater than 0. Look at the theorem. My f dash of x is greater than 0 in some interval. Okay, then my f of x is increasing on that interval, closed interval. If my f dash of x is less than 0 in some interval, then my f of x is decreasing on this interval. Are you okay? I'm going to find out. And the sine of f dash of x, sine means that is great, f dash of x is greater than 0 or less than 0. That is my f of x is positive or negative. I am going to check that because based on that only conclusion. Look at the conclusion. When how we are concluding that f is increasing or f is decreasing. My f dash of x is greater than 0 means f is increasing. My f dash of x is less than 0 means my f is decreasing. Greater than 0 is nothing but plus, positive. Less than 0 means it is nothing but minus, negative. So therefore, my sine of f dash of x is positive. Then my nature of f of x is increasing. F of x is increasing. My sine of f dash of x is negative. My nature of f of x is decreasing. Okay. So equal to 0 means what happens, sir? Equal to 0 never come. Why? My f dash of x is equal to 0. Then if you put x is equal to -2 and 3, then only my f dash of x is 0. For other cases, my f dash of x is not equal to 0. Are you clear? Are you understand? Okay. So now come to that. I'm going to apply one value. Take any one value from this interval. Take any one value in this interval. I am going to take it as -3. Don't take -2. -2 not included in this interval. Take -3 and apply in your f dash of x here. 12 into, okay, -3 plus 2. I am applying in f dash of x. -3 plus 2. -3 into -3. This is positive or negative? This is -2 plus 1. Okay, this is -2 plus here plus 2. -3 plus 2. Here -3 -3. Okay, so what is the answer? This is actually negative. -3 plus 2 negative. This is also negative. Negative into negative, positive. This term is minus, this term is minus. Minus into minus plus. My sine of f dash of x is positive. What is my f dash of x? This is my f dash of x. I am applying my sine of f dash of x. I am applying x is equal to -3 in my f dash of x only. Okay, so therefore this will become positive. Positive means this function is strictly increasing. Are you clear? Are you understand? This is strictly increasing. My f is strictly increasing. Now come to that. You take any one point from this interval. Can I take 0? 0 is a simple value. Okay, substitute in your f dash of x. Here, this is your f dash of x. Substitute. That is 12 into 0 plus 2. And this is 0 -3. So this is positive, this is negative. Are you clear? This is 0 plus 2. This is 0 minus 3. Why, sir? Why you are taking 0? Here I am applying 0, 0 plus 2, 0 minus 3. I am taking any one point in this interval. Don't take minus 2, plus 3. It is an open interval. Open interval means don't consider these 2 points. You take any other point other than these 2. Here also, all these are open intervals. I am taking simply 0. Applying 0. What I am getting? This is positive, this is negative. I am getting negative. I need only sign, positive or negative. Greater than 0 or less than 0. This is greater than 0, this is less than 0. Okay, less than 0 means it is decreasing. Okay, now come the third interval. This is, you take any one point from this interval. Can I take it as 4? Any one interval, simple. Any one value in this interval, simple value. Okay, I am taking 4. Substitute 4 here in my f dash of x, 12 into 4 plus 2, okay, and 4 minus 3. This is finally positive or negative. This is positive. This is also positive. Positive into some positive number. Again, I am getting positive. That is greater than 0. Positive means greater than 0. My f dash of x is greater than 0. So therefore, the function is strictly increasing. Are you clear? So now look at that. This is my, you please try to understand. Here the second column representing the sign of f dash of x, but my third column representing the nature of f of x, as in increasing or decreasing. That is a nature. Okay. Look at that. What is the meaning that in this interval my f of x is increasing. In this interval my f of x is increasing. What about this interval? In this interval my f of x is decreasing. Yeah, okay. Now please try to understand this. Look at that. This is minus infinity. This is some minus 2. This is some plus 3. This is again plus infinity. Look at that. My function is increasing up to minus infinity to minus 2. Okay, up to minus 2, my function is increasing. Look at that. Up to minus 2, my function is increasing. Okay, again, my function is decreasing only. Up to 3, my function is decreasing. Okay, again 3 to infinity, my function is increasing. Are you okay? So now look at that. See the intervals. Right? So minus infinity to minus 2, my function is increasing. Okay, and minus 2 to 3, my function is decreasing. Again 3 to infinity, my function is increasing. Okay, so here this is the turning point. It is increasing and this is the turning point and then decreasing. Okay, so this point is called as my f dash of x0 constant. Okay, and look at that. Here it is decreasing and this point it is turning and increasing. This turning point is my f dash of x. F dash of x is equal to 0 and this is only these 2 points. F dash of x is equal to 0. Here also f dash of x is equal to 0. So that is we are taking my f dash of x is equal to 0. This f dash of x is equal to 0 means I am getting 2 points. These 2 points are called it as our critical points. That means at this point only we are going to get that maximum and minimum. Okay, that means that are the turning points. Turning points means if the function is increasing, it is turned means again it is going to decrease. Okay, again we are getting turning point means function is curve is turning means if the function is decreasing means other it is going to be increase. Are you clear? Are you understand? Okay. You please take that. We don't have time to discuss our homework problems. If you have any doubt, you please ask your doubts. If you have any doubt, you please ask your doubts. Today I am going to giving homework for this type of problems only. This problem. You please try to understand this problem. I am going to giving the problem based on this only. Okay. So please try to understand. Yes, Stanley. Nagarjuna, you please concentrate continuity, but we will get some 1 or 2 marks only in continuity. Okay. And Saturday we have a test only 25%, 25% to 30% questions from continuity. Remaining 60 to 70% from only in our differentiation only. Okay. Only 5.5 exercise up to 5.5, that is continuity, simple differentiation, logarithmic differentiation of logarithm function, exponential function, UV formula, U by V formula, okay, and logarithmic differentiation, taking log and differentiate, that is, okay. Ganesh, I will send the homework problems to you, okay. Are you okay? Right. So today I am going to give the homework problems like this only, finding the increasing intervals of increasing and decreasing. Please note this problem carefully. Then only you can find out the answer for the problems. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.